Hey guys, I'm Reagan Kathryn, and today I'm going to talk about what other webtoons I think should be made into animes. So I am a huge fan of webtoons. I've been reading them for like 2 years now. After I went to a convention and my friend Erica told me that I should read them with her. It's taken up so much of my time now. And so, as you guys all know, I've done a few videos about Tower of God. That's one of the ones I read, and I know that Crunchyroll has also signed on for Noblesse, and they just announced that The God of High School is going to be made into an anime, and I'm so excited. I wanted to talk about some other webtoons I think would be good candidates or choices to also be made into animes. So my number 6 pick is True Beauty. Now, I really like True Beauty. It's one of the ones that is always advertised whenever you're scrolling through and see a webtoons thing. The reason it's kind of low though is because I've heard it's going to be made into a K-drama, which it definitely will suit really well, but I also think that the animation will be so much fun in an anime. TLDR, it's basically about this girl who is a catfish, so she's not conventionally pretty, and she learns how to do makeup really well and kind of fools everyone into thinking that she's this like supermodel-esque type girl. There is also so much drama in True Beauty. It definitely is like a K-drama. There's car crashes and hospital visits and oh my gosh, so much. There's boy bands and college and school and like not making enough money versus what do I want to do with my life, and also it's just the hilarity of her trying to learn how to use makeup and the duality of both of her lives kind of together. 5 choice is my personal all-time favorite webtoon. It's called My Dear Coldblooded King, and this is the one that I always try and push on all of my friends. It follows a girl named Kihara May, and she's basically just this normal commoner girl who, by happenstance, thwarts an assassination plan and is brought to the palace. So, in the palace, it's ruled by the Blood King, and he is this supposedly horrible monster who murders everyone and is an all-around bad guy. Come to find out, this all-around apparently bad guy is very attractive. His name is Katsu. And since she has thwarted this assassination attempt, Katsu demands that she pose as his fiancé. So, for all intents and purposes, Kihara May is now the fiancé of the dreaded Blood King. At the same time, there's Ryusaki, and Ryusaki is the lieutenant general in the army, and Kihara May wants to learn how to fight and be in the army and be useful. So she spends a lot of time with Ryusaki learning how to fight. Now, there's a lot of plots and twists between Katsu and Ryusaki, and then the kind of love triangle between the three of them. Also, there's another character that gets introduced later who throws so much more into the mix. I stayed up all night until basically the sun was coming up the next day, and if anyone knows me, I'm definitely not a night owl. I go to bed at like 8 p.m. But I stayed up all night catching up to this webtoon, and then was so depressed it was over, I waited a full year before I read it again so that I could accumulate chapters. The boys are heckin' cute, they're definitely swoon-worthy, the plot is also really interesting, and it's definitely one that I think would be a great anime adaptation. Now, my number 4 choice is a webtoons classic. So when I was getting into webtoons, basically everyone told me that I needed to read Let's Play. Now, a cool fact about Let's Play is that the artist for it actually did the cover design for Markiplier's YouTube channel. And while the webtoon isn't necessarily based off of Markiplier, it's definitely based off of YouTube and internet personalities. Follow Sam Young, who is a girl who is just kind of like a homebody. She doesn't really do anything on the internet. She works really hard, just kind of a normal person. And the apartment next to her, this YouTube sensation, Martial Law, moves in. And it's just kind of about the different personalities of the two and how they kind of come together, and it's a really cute story, and most people who I ask, this is their number 1 favorite webtoon. Let's Play, definitely a fan favorite, would love to see it as an anime. My number 3 choice is I Love You. I Love You was actually the first webtoon that I ever read. Again, this is the one that Erica suggested to me at the convention. She was like, do you read webtoons? And I was like, don't know what that is. And she was like, well, no one reads them with me. Do you want to read it? And I love consuming all types of nerd culture, so I immediately went home and caught up to I Love You, which at the time there was a lot of chapters of. I Love You is definitely one of the more popular webtoon series out there. It's by Quimchi, and it follows a girl, Shanae, who is definitely not a girly girl. She's kind of poor and she's written off romance and all of that jazz. And again, it's kind of a love triangle, but not really. It basically starts when Shanae gets dropped into these two boys' life, Yusuke and Yongi. And Yongi is amazing and must be protected at all costs. And they're both these two rich boys, and she's a poor girl, and the hilarity that comes out of it and also like the true feels that come out of it is spectacular. Okay, my second one, and the only reason it's not my first one is because I'm actually not sure if it's considered a webtoon or if it's a manhwa or if it's a web series, but it's Solo Leveling. Solo Leveling is hands down my favorite of all time. It has a very similar feel to Hunter x Hunter, and if you haven't read it yet, you should click out of this video and go start reading it right now. It's that good. But maybe don't click out and stay here. So Solo Leveling is set in a world where there are dungeons and hunters, and basically everyone is born with a certain rank, and no matter what you do, you can't increase your rank or change your rank or anything. So for example, you could be like a B rank healer, C rank mage. It doesn't matter. You get tested, that's what you are. And then you can clear dungeons depending on what rank you are and what difficulty the dungeon is. So Solo Leveling follows Jinwoo, and Jinwoo is the weakest hunter ever. I'm pretty sure they call him the weakest hunter of all time. He works really hard, but unfortunately can't clear anything and just keeps getting hurt and just is kind of trash. But one day, by happenstance, Jinwoo gets this special power that actually lets him train and grow levels, and that's never happened before, and this is like the only instance of it ever happening. And so it basically follows Jinwoo as he goes from the weakest hunter to the world's best hunter, and it is so interesting, especially if you like things like Hunter x Hunter. This is definitely one that you should read and check out, and already, even reading it, it feels like I'm watching this beautiful anime, so I can only imagine it with music to it, and it saying all of the things like the arise. Oh man, I already have chills thinking about it. Solo Leveling, I would lose my mind if they made this an anime. My number one choice that I would really love to be an anime is Lore Olympus. Lore Olympus is now what I tell people when I want them to read webtoons. It follows it's like a modern day retelling of Hades and Persephone and like the Greek lore, and it's so good. The art is different than any webtoon that I've ever seen. The use of colors is great. Also, the author does a fantastic job of touching on like sensitive subjects. Super good. Also, Hades is so good and so sweet, and I love him. I've never loved Hades more than in any adaptation other than this. And again, Lore Olympus is probably, if you made me just like guess out of nowhere, it's probably one of like the most read and most popular webtoons, and just to see all of that color animated would be amazing. Also, again, it's so popular, the story is so good. I spend coins on it, and by I spend coins on it, Hendo Art loves it so much she sends me coins so that we can both read it at the same time. I've had people from college like text me out of nowhere being like, do you read Lore Olympus? You seem like you would read these webtoons. I'm like, yeah, I do. Let's talk about them. So anyways, thanks for watching, and let me know what you think of my list. These are my top 6 webtoons that I would love to see turned into animes. Crunchyroll, please. If I missed your favorite webtoon, drop it in the comments below. There was a ton that didn't make it onto my list, but also there's so many webtoons out there. Hopefully you'll give me a webtoon I haven't read and I can binge it. Okay, let me know what you think, and thanks for watching. Bye!